Welcome to Study Session 5, Group Guidance. Introduction. In the previous session, you have learned the School Guidance Program. In this study session, you will be introduced to Group Guidance, which is a service made available by guidance personnel to a large or small groups of people to solve their common problem. In this study session, you will also be introduced to purpose of group guidance, situations where group guidance could be most effective, techniques employed by guidance, and differences between group and individual guidance. Learning outcomes for study session. At the end of this study session, you should be able to 1. Define group guidance. 2. Explain the purpose of group guidance. 3. Identify various situations for which group guidance is appropriate. 4. Explain the techniques of group guidance. 5. Analyze the differences between group and individual guidance. Definition of group guidance. The term group guidance is most often used to refer to any part of a guidance program which is conducted with groups of students rather than between an individual pupil and a counselor. It is a group enterprise or activity assisting individuals in the group to solve their problem. However, for the purpose of guidance, group is characterized by the interaction of its members in such a way that each unit individual is changed by its group membership. Therefore, in group guidance, there is interaction which produces changes in each individual. Members share common goals. Members are present on their own consent and volition, and there is a capacity for self-direction. Layton, 1954, places the emphasis in group guidance on the imparting of information to students. On the other hand, Cardwell, 1960, states that group guidance activities are directed to a large degree to creating an appropriate setting for subsequent counseling and other teacher relationship with individual students. Purposes of group guidance. Let us now discuss the various purposes of group guidance. 1. Group guidance is designed to provide learning opportunities because learning is essential for self-direction with respect to educational, vocational, and personal social aspects of life through assistance in orientation in school situations and in the best use of school opportunities. Group study of problems of interpersonal relationships and assistance in choice of group experiences in the school life that may modify both individual and group behavior in socially acceptable ways. Group study of problems of growing up, establishing adult adjustment and applying mental hygiene in living. Group study and application of sound methods of self-appraisal of attitudes, interests, abilities, personality, character traits, and personal social adjustment. Group study and application of efficient methods in learning. Group study of occupational life and problems of occupational adjustment and process. Assistance through groups in learning how to project suitable long-range educational plans, and assistance in the development of discerning standards of value for making choices of experiences in various areas of living and the developing of a growing philosophy of life. 2. The second purpose of group guidance is to provide opportunity for the therapeutic effects of group procedure. This is achieved through the perspectives gained from the study of common human problems, the release of emotional tension, increased insight into personality dynamics, and creative redirection of energy through study of these common human problems in a permissive atmosphere. 3. The third purpose of group guidance is to achieve some of the objectives of guidance more economically and some more effectively than will be possible in a completely individualized approach. 4. The final purpose of group guidance is to implement individual counseling and render it more effective through background study of common aspects of problems and the reduction or elimination of many emotional barriers to the discussion of unique aspects of common human problems. Situations for which group guidance is appropriate. The situations where group guidance could be most effective include the following. 1. Where only a minimum amount of educational and vocational guidance is required. For example, providing guide to a certain area of occupational information, a description of different university courses, or a comparison of what different forms of higher education have to offer. 2. Presenting occupational information in a structured, classified manner and developing the idea of job families. 3. Discussion of a single job in detail, emphasizing the psychosocial as well as the economic aspects of the job. 4. Discussion of broad problems of adjustments to work and society. 5. Discussion of occupational visits, work experience schemes, and other guidance techniques exercised outside of the classroom. 6. To utilize the many techniques possible inside the classroom to assist in the development of the self-concept, realistic occupational concepts, occupational self-concepts, and extra-occupational concepts. 7. For an introduction to the career course, explaining the aims, the help provided by the school and career service, and to explain what is expected from the students. Techniques of group guidance. Various methods could be used inside and outside the classroom in conducting group guidance activities. Some of these include 1. Group discussion. It may involve small or large groups, and the topic of discussion varies according to the student's needs. 2. Use of guest speakers. Guest speakers, usually professionals in different fields of occupation, are often invited to talk to students on various occupations, the nature of occupation, academic requirements for the occupations, institutions that offer courses that prepare and train one for the occupation, occupational hazards of the particular occupation, and job opportunities of such occupation in the society. 3. Presentation of information on occupation and education by the teacher, school counselor, or career master. 4. Occupational visits, excursion. This involves arranging and visiting factories, firms, universities, companies, etc. by students with a counselor or career master for the sake of gathering information on work environment and first-hand experience on the nature of jobs in the areas visited. 5. Use of audio-visual aids such as television, radio, newspaper, bulletin boards, etc. 6. Use of career convention. This is similar to excursion. 7. Use of various self-assessment exercises. Group versus individual guidance. There are similarities and differences between group and individual guidance and counseling. The similarities and differences are briefly summarized below. Similarities. 1. The overall objective of group and individual guidance and counseling are frequently quite similar. Both seek to help the student or counselee to gain more information, achieve self-direction, integration, and self-responsibility. In either approaches, students or counselees are helped towards self-acceptance and understanding of their motivations. 2. In both group and individual guidance, an accepting and permissive climate must be maintained if the participants are to experience less need for maintaining their defenses. In both, individuals feel free to examine their feelings and experiences because respect has been accorded to them. Both approaches strive to induce confidence in the student's ability to be responsible for the choices that he himself makes. 3. In both approaches, the counselor's techniques are important. Clarification of feelings, reflection of feelings, restatement of content, structuring, acceptance, and so on are appropriately used in both situations. In both approaches, the counselor's skills are used to draw out students or counselees so that they are aware of their feelings and attitudes and can examine and clarify them. 4. The recipients of group and individual guidance are students experiencing normal developmental problems. Both approaches deal with the common needs, interests, concerns, and experiences of the generality of students. Differences. The group situation provides immediate opportunities to try out ways of relating to individuals and is an excellent way of providing the experience of intimacy with others. The physical proximity of the members to each other brings emotional satisfactions. A student or counselee may get his peers' reaction and suggestions concerning alternative ways of behaving with others. Immediate first-hand opportunity is present to test others' perception of oneself in relation to others. In group guidance, the members interact with each other. The more stable and cohesive the group, the more the members tend to assist each other. The cooperative sharing of relationship that is established facilitates giving as well as receiving. A group relationship helps the members to feel closer to others and to understand and accept them. The interaction nurtures members and facilitates mutual expression of feelings and interpretation of meanings. Group interactions also influence each member's behavior. The counselor's or teacher's task is more complicated in group guidance. Large guidance groups are difficult to lead. The counselor must recognize the interplay of relationship among the members and strive to keep all the members interested and active. Limitations of group guidance. The following are some of the major limitations of group guidance. 1. Group members may be difficult to manage and lead, especially when it involves a large group, such as a group in a career talk or occupational visit excursion. Some of the members may become passive, thus not contributing to the group activities. 2. Some students may be too shy, tense, or nervous to bring up certain personal problems in a group situation. 3. Group guidance is frequently restricted to problems in the area of vocation and educational guidance, with less focus on social and emotional difficulties of the students. 4. The group problems may be to take two. 4. The group problems may not be relevant to the problems of individual group members. 5. The counselor may have a greater risk of establishing rapport and convincing the group members of the seriousness of the task. 6. There are students who are so aggressive that they will dominate the whole group discussion and counselor's attention, thus constituting a threat to other group members. Summary of study session. In this study session, you have learned that 1. Group guidance refers to any part of guidance program which is conducted with groups of students and a counselor. The purpose and objective of group guidance are quite frequently similar to those of by individual guidance. The difference being that group provides broad learning opportunities for its members, and the objectives of guidance are achieved more economically through group. 2. Group guidance is designed to provide learning opportunities because learning is essential for self-direction with respect to education, vocation, and personal social aspects of life through assistance in orientation in school situations and in the best use of school opportunities, group study of problems of interpersonal relationships, and assistance in choice of group experiences in the school life that may modify both individual and group behavior in socially acceptable ways. 3. The various methods that could be used inside and outside the classroom in conducting group guidance activities are group discussion. It may involve small or large groups, and the topic of discussion varies according to the student's needs. Use of guest speakers. Guest speakers, usually professionals in different fields of occupation, are often involved to talk to students on various occupations, the nature of occupation, academic requirements. We have come to the end of study session 5. Thanks for listening.